Hello teacups, what's brewing? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all having a nice day. I had a few errands to run today. I might actually end up doing a little sit down and chat on my other channel about it. I just went over to a friend's and look at my new mug. I love it. So this was a mug that I had actually looked at in Marks and Spencer's, but it was one of those things where, you know, Marks and Spencer's can be a little bit pricey sometimes. And because I had the same shape mug in that turquoise one with the robins on it, I was like, they'd look cool together, but I don't really need this one. So it wasn't cheap enough to justify just buying on a whim. And one of the other teachers just put a post up in our WhatsApp group and was like, hey, I'm getting rid of a few things if you want them to come get them. And the mug was one of them, so I didn't have to buy it, and I've got the lovely mug. I'm so pleased. I know it's a silly thing to make you happy, but it makes me happy. So that was one good thing that happened today. I'll maybe go into the other details on the other channel, but for now, we're going to be looking at cheesy beef macaroni, beefaroni pasta with cheesy garlic bread mukbang, because God forbid there not be cheese. I did watch her cooking this. She was as enthusiastic as ever. It does raise the question how she's managing to eat food like this while she feels so sick. Because I tell you, I don't make pasta very often. I tend to eat more low carb. But when I have, I can only really make it once or twice a year. I make like a pasta bake that's a little similar to this, where I'll make a sort of bolognese sauce, mix in the pasta, put cheese on top and put it in the oven, right? So pasta bake, but this thing. And it's comforting and it's warm and it's delicious for a few bites, and then it just gets really heavy. Like, you don't tend to finish a meal feeling good with the kind of portions she's been eating. So even if they're less than she usually eats, like, it's a lot of very heavy food when you're sick. She's also got an update on her cat, Julia. If you are sick of the cat talk, this is not going to be the video for you. But thank you for being here anyway. Let's get into it.
So our baby girl has become a woman. She's apparently in heat and has been crying all night. And we're going to take her to the vet now.
I should preface this entire video with, I know nothing about caring for cats, right? I've had cats in my family, but because I've either been a kid or not living full time, the primary responsibilities of pet ownership, like vet visits and things like that, have never been mine. So I don't know about the medical needs and caring for cats in that way. So anything I say in this video, if I'm wrong, feel free to tell me it down below. I'm sure you will, but I'm just doing some guesswork here. But if she's in heat, is she really gonna want people petting her more? Is that gonna make it better or worse? I would feel like worse. Also, I'd read somewhere once that the very base of the tail is a really sensitive area, so a lot of cats don't like being scratched there anyway, but that might be a case-by-case basis.
And yeah, she's just been doing this and crying. So we pet her, massage her.
Is that going to be a good thing?
Play with her, but
take her to the vet, man. When she got Julia, I seem to remember the conversation being she was too young to be spayed. But shouldn't they have taken her to the vet? I feel like she claimed she had taken her to the vet, but maybe she just took her for a grooming. I don't know. But if Julia had been taken to a vet and they got the basic details, wouldn't they know that this was upcoming, that she might need help, that, you know, when she'd be ready to be spayed? All of these things that seem to have taken them by surprise, if she'd had a vet visit before now, seems like they would have been things they would know.
We're going to take you to the doctor, okay? Oh, my baby angel. Hi.
It's not a Chantal video without a driving montage.
And now we're on the way taking our princess to the vet.
Okay, concerned enough that they stop for drinks on the way. had enough of her.
It's okay. You might hear my cat meowing. Yeah, I know. I'm not your boyfriend.
The way she refers to Julian, this makes me cringe a little bit, but also, she's got the filter on because her chin is pointy, but she's looking a bit rough. I know she's been feeling ill, that might not be her fault.
I can't do anything about it.
You could have been a responsible pet owner and gotten her spayed before this happened.
Okay, let's just get introduced to food first, and then I'll talk a bit about what's going on with her. Here.
Jesus Christ. She put a lot of cheese on this when she was baking it, putting it in the oven. Yeah, it would have been baking because she put it in the saucepan in the oven. So shake your cheese on top because you can never have enough cheese on top of your cheesy pasta and cheesy garlic bread.
So...
Jesus Christ. How much cheese does one person need? I'm guessing less than that.
I'll start with that. Also have a jar of pickles.
Oh, that combination. I know she likes pickles with everything. I guess it's the contrast, but no.
This was full at one point, but...
Oh, she's found a fork. Dare we hope that's a matching knife? I guess a spoon, probably. Oh, fingers in.
Here.
Fingers in. I hope Salah wasn't hoping to have any of those pickles, because she's sick and she's dirty.
My cat is in heat. Before you judge me, listen to my story.
No, I'll listen to your story, but I very much judged you already.
Hi!
Oh, God.
So she's basically, so maybe like 4 nights ago, some Sunkist. I don't like to drink soda that much when I'm sick.
Is the juice going to be that much better for you? Like, I know vitamin C, but I feel like it's just a lot of sugar for your body to deal with.
Baby, yeah, no. She's stuck to me like glue since she's been in heat.
She ran away from you the moment the camera turned on.
So I was sleeping, and during the night,
Get your cat off the table.
Like super loud. And she wouldn't leave me alone. She kept
Oh, it's a spoon, not a knife. Don't get excited. It's not a cutlery set.
jumping on me, coming to me, and she doesn't do that normally.
I guess not.
You know. Hey!
I told ya.
Anyway, I woke up, I thought, okay, I'm gonna go give her more food, I guess, because I always leave crunchies out when I go to bed because I don't want her to bug me.
That's the Chantal school of cat care. If in doubt, just throw some treats at them until they shut up and give up.
So, and I give her wet food twice a day.
No matter
So
what
I'll
the
get up
problem.
and give her wet.
As long as the cats are well fed, they are therefore well cared for. Because that's the same standard she puts in her own life.
She normally doesn't bug me until, I get up. Let's try this.
You just said she usually doesn't bug you.
I love this macaroni.
That's a very sloppy sound. Where's her microphone today?
Nostalgia.
Or is this just getting picked up? No, I feel like she's got a microphone somewhere.
Tastes like a fresh beefaroni.
Is there such thing as a fresh beefaroni? Like, would beefaroni not be the very definition of, like, preserved food? Those hamburger buns that she put on, and going by the shape of the cheese, I'm guessing just a cheese slice?
I feed her. It doesn't stop. So I was like, I think she's in heat.
That was your first thought? She does say in a minute that she's never had a cat go through that before, so is that your first thought?
I said no.
Or Salah said it to you?
But as the day passed on, she started doing that, like, she would be walking in front of me, stop, raise her butt, and look behind me and cry. Like, I'm not a dude, and I'm not a cat.
You say this was 4 days ago, and you thought immediately she might be in heat, and you let it go 4 days?
I've never had an animal in heat before.
And yet it was your first thought?
And it's my fault.
Yeah. I'm not
Probably should have got it
disagreeing.
done sooner.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing. Just let her suffer. Yeah, no problem. You love her that much.
I didn't know her exact age.
A vet probably could have given you an approximate age had you taken her to one.
Because of how we, like, adopted her?
By adopted, they claim someone gave them to her. From the sounds of it, with no information, no approximate age, no nothing, no vaccines, which we'll talk about in a minute. I think she picked her up off the street. I think it was one of those cases. Do you remember a little while ago she had a video of her in the car with a random cat, probably covered in ringworm, that she had found that she was holding here? Like, I think she just picked Julia up at some point out of spite for the rest of her audience who didn't want her to have one. Speculation, obviously.
She must be at least between 5 months and a year, according to Google.
According to Google, and not a vet, because you didn't take her for any checkups.
So, right away, I called the vet.
Right away, I called the vet 4 days later.
Well, so I called.
Of course, you wouldn't have done it yourself. Although, in her defense for that, the language barrier. Most of the time, like, I had to call around for some vaccines for me today, and most of the time the person will speak English on the other end of the phone, but I do imagine it'd be easier for Salah there, to be entirely fair.
Can we get our cat fixed today? And I'm thinking...
You called up a vet and was like, would you give my cat surgery today? I feel like that's something you would have to wait on. They'd have to see her first.
Usually that takes an appointment, you know.
That would be
but
weird.
I don't think the guy on the other end of the line really understood. So good.
That is so much pasta.
What we wanted. It was like a weird connection. So we ended up driving all the way to... It was like 45-minute drive to bring her.
There wasn't anywhere closer. Doesn't she live in Kuwait City? Like, there will be places closer. Although I do suppose, often when you see stores here, they will be clustered. A bit like when you go to a souk or something, you'll have a whole row of stores that sell the same kind of thing. And sometimes that happens with like shop fronts as well. Like, this area will all be like lighting stores. This area will all be another kind. But with medical facilities, usually there's quite a few of them. I know we've got a lot in this area.
When we get there, there's like no wait time.
Yeah, they're usually quite good.
I love going to the vet here because they're really good.
How many times has she been to the vet here? She's been to the groomers here, but how many times do we think been to the vet? When you say you love going to the vet.
And what they do, and there's like no wait. So, sure enough, the vet's like, yeah, we need to make an appointment.
Yeah, I would
Do you want to
expect.
leave her overnight?
Well, getting her in the next day is still pretty good.
And he's like, actually, first, is she vaccinated? And I said, well, the family we adopted her from
The non-existent family.
said that she was vaccinated.
Here's my question then. When she went to Thailand, she claimed the cats had been boarded, right? And I didn't think that was true. I think it's much more likely the pets were in the apartment and someone came in to feed them and maybe clean out the cat tray every now and again. Because that's the way a lot of teachers work here. If they're traveling for the summer, like we have, the people who are staying have nannies, and sometimes they'll take on extra cleaning jobs, or you'll already have a cleaner and you can just pay them a bit extra and they'll come in and check it because they live in the area. And so some people will just leave their pets here and they'll get them fed for about a month and then they'll come back, right? I figured Foodie had done that. Why she wouldn't just admit it, I don't know. I guess because she's terrified of being considered a bad pet owner because she's got so much backlash for it. But then she says stuff like this that catches her out. I can't think of any legitimate boarding facility that would allow a cat in without vaccinations, because they've got to protect all the residents of their facility. So you can't have a cat that's not vaccinated. It wouldn't make sense. So there's no way she boarded this cat while she was in Thailand, because she'd have no proof of vaccines and she'd need to bring them.
And he's like, well, a lot of people will just tell you that.
Yeah. In a shock surprise to Chantal here, because she's so honest, people lie.
But if you don't have a vaccination card for her, I can't operate on her until she's fully vaccinated because maybe there will be an infection or something like this. Which I didn't know that the vaccines they get would it have an impact on like infection prevention? I don't know.
I don't know about that. Like I said, I'm not that sure about this area of care. But I would imagine if your cat has an operation and then has to stay at the vet, there's a chance they'd be more susceptible to picking up anything from cats around them, which is why vaccines are important. I would assume, but I don't know.
Anyway, her vet won't do it.
God, every time she moves that pile, her plate refills. Like, she had it piled so high.
Until she's vaccinated. And to vaccinate her, she can't be in heat, in her heat cycle, because of her distress and her raised body temperature.
So because you didn't plan for this, because you didn't take her and get that information and be a responsible pet owner, she now has to be in distress for the entirety of whatever this cycle is. Nice, caring, good job.
What we have to do now is wait for her cycle to end, her heat cycle, which could take several days.
Look at her raising her eyebrows like it's going to impact her that much.
And then once that's over,
So inconvenient.
we take her for her vaccine. She'll get her vaccination card and everything, her up-to-date vaccinations, and then we can schedule, the spay. So on one hand, I'm happy that he's like, cares about the health of the cat.
More than you, apparently?
But on the other hand, I'm just like, several more days of... We basically sleep when she sleeps because she's very needy when she's awake. Like, she's glued to me. Like...
Well, Foodie, if only there'd been a way to avoid this whole problem. If only some kind of preventative care could have been put in place.
I could just hold her and pet her all day and she would love that.
Didn't she start this video by saying that the cat doesn't usually do this?
I think, like, the massaging and the petting helps her, but I feel bad for her.
Not bad enough to prevent
So I
it?
said, is there anything we can do to reduce her crying, her stress? So he prescribed Depo-Provera. I think it's a
I don't know why I paused it to look at that. I know literally nothing about it.
progesterone injection or something. Hormone. It's basically a hormone injection that's supposed to, like the pill, trick her body into thinking she's pregnant and stop her estrus, her heat cycle. He gave us a prescription instead of just doing it there. There's like an actual block, pet pharmacies.
That's what I was talking about when I say often shops that do the same thing get clustered together.
Like a whole block of them, like a whole row. And so we drove there, and a doctor at that pharmacy clinic administered it.
A vet, I'm assuming.
And he said it could take a day or two. Well, it's the third day today, and she's still showing her butt.
So they waited 4 days, and now they're on the third day since the injection. Have I got this timeline right? Poor cat.
She follows me around the apartment, and like I said, she'll just stop, flop over, or hunch down, show me her butt like this, and look back and cry.
And Foodie just finds it funny.
Like expecting me to do something about it.
As her owner, what could I possibly do to help her? Just think if you had taken her to the vet, been responsible, and got her spayed before this was an issue.
So, I'm like, baby cat,
I'm sure she appreciated that.
I'm not your boyfriend. But this is the first time she goes into heat. So hopefully her heat will finish. I think they can go up to like 10 days.
Didn't the vet give us some kind of information about this though? Like, she says, okay, I think it got up to 10 days, but she said she got that from Google. Why would you not ask the vet signs to look for? Things you could, like, they've prescribed them that shot or whatever it was to help them, but would they not give them a guideline of when to bring Julia back?
Halfway there.
I mean, Julia would have to live on a prayer at this point. She certainly can't rely on Foodie.
Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully they can spay her shortly after her vaccine. I feel like I'm consoling my young adult daughter hitting puberty.
Thank God Foodie is not capable of reproducing a human. Thank God.
And not knowing what to do with herself, like, okay, baby gal, I brush her more.
She would do that to a human as well.
Playing with her more, helps. Like the laser, she doesn't seem to think about what she's going through when she's playing. Or I put on, like, on the TV, like a video.
Oh, and sorry, I'm just thinking, when she says this has been a few days, like, she said when she was making this, didn't she? That she hadn't been out for a few days because she'd been so sick. So it's been a while for the cat. Like, this is going to be old footage.
Videos for cats with, like, mice and stuff. Well, now I put it on my phone because she attacked the TV, but in retrospect, that probably wasn't a good idea. Anyway, this is delicious.
All right, you seem to be managing it. Carbs on carbs on carbs while you're sick, though.
These macaroni noodles are like the exact same beefaroni noodles.
I don't think I've ever tried beefaroni. Is it just like a canned pasta and meat sauce thing?
Long macaroni. I don't cut it in half.
Why would you cut macaroni in half?
There's a lot left over. Salah's eating in the other room. And I do my videos. Yeah, he's not in my videos, so he's gonna eat in the other room, you know?
A little bit defensive.
And, yeah, but beefaroni, Chef Boyardee, I loved it growing up.
That doesn't surprise me.
Which, I think it's just something quick and easy to shut your kids up, you know? Here, have some beefaroni.
I feel like if it's a canned product, the closest thing we have in the UK is like Heinz spaghetti or spaghetti hoops, that kind of thing. Or is it a kind of hamburger helper sort of situation?
Open a can if they're hungry.
Oh, can.
Oh.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I used to like Heinz spaghetti on toast when I was a kid, so when you're a kid, you eat some stuff.
I'm gonna have tomato mouth. Tomato mouth is when you have ketchup or tomato stains around your mouth. You know what kids do?
No, I got what you were saying. It wasn't a mystery.
There was one kid in elementary school.
All of her stories are from 30 years ago. She had a period in the middle of her life when she literally did nothing.
Carson. He used to always
Like she blinked and her 30s were gone.
Watching this. Hi Carson, shouldn't have bullied me.
Knowing what kind of child Chantal was, like, she was a bully as much as she could be, but I do think she got it from the other kids as well, knowing her personality. But what makes you think Carson, whoever he is sitting there looking you up right now?
He would always have like those microwavable Chef Boyardee things for lunch. I didn't like those ones as much because they tasted like tin. And he would always get that in the corners of his mouth after lunch. I don't get the teachers, man. If I was the teacher, I'd be like, wipe your mouth or you're going to the principal's office for grossing me out.
Another example of reasons Foodie should not be in charge of children.
I'm just joking. But like, nobody ever told him to wipe it.
I'm sure they probably did. And while we're on the subject, wipe your mouth. If you can't do it as an adult, don't piss on him for not doing it as a kid. I love how she balanced that on, like she couldn't just take another spoon.
That's what it reminds me of, unfortunately. But it was good memories.
How was that a good memory? Hey, a kid in elementary school that I didn't like used to get tomato mouth from this thing that I'm making and eating myself now. Is it a sliding scale, good memories compared to the guys you used to stalk who live next door? Like the French lover? What is the scale of your memory?
You know, sometimes for lunch, or if I was at home on a weekend or, I don't know, homesick, I would have canned Campbell's soup or can of beefaroni was my favorite at the time.
Okay, so your good memories consist of the food you got to eat when you were alone.
There's something about the tomato sauce in Chef Boyardee. That's why I added a bit of sugar to mine. It's like really, it's a little sweet. But my mom used to also make stews in the crock pot. Beef stew. You know when you cook something in a crock pot or slow cook something all day? The smell?
Mm-hmm.
So comforting, especially this time of year. Time for stews and casseroles and things like that.
I do want it to be autumn so badly. I'm making my own. I've been making a lot of soup, but it's more imagination than fact. God, no wonder she needs the water. It just cut through all the heaviness.
I think that's my sodium limit for the day.
God, for the week.
Anyway, believe it or not, I don't have as much of an appetite.
I'm gonna choose not because I saw the size of that plate.
Even though I just smashed a huge plate.
Yeah.
I probably could have eaten more if I was feeling better, but...
I'm not sure what point you're making with that.
Now Salah is sniffling.
Maybe because you double dipped the gravy when you were sick the other day and then fed it to him.
So, I'm on antibiotics, but I mean, if it's viral, which it probably is, that doesn't do anything.
Well, the doctor would have made that determination, wouldn't he? Or did you just get this over the counter?
But I think they just give them to you just in case. Yeah.
I would say usually they don't because you can become resistant to antibiotics.
How to rule it out. Which, I was reluctant to take them because, like, they hurt my stomach.
Well, I'm sure the Beefaroni dupe will help immensely.
I am so full and tired.
Because you just ate a pound of pasta, man. No wonder I'd want a nap after that.
So, I know a lot of you like these cooking videos and a lot of you make fun of me because I don't have, you know, the most sophisticated kitchen.
That's a kind way of putting it. I will say, through ways she does not intend, her cooking videos are somewhat entertaining. I will give her that. More entertaining than a mukbangs usually.
But whatever. This is just, you know, basic cooking.
Oh, sorry.
My way, how I do things, I guess.
My way. Still got an adder on the brain.
But when we're feeling a bit better, we're gonna go shopping and show you guys maybe what a supermarket looks like.
They have already done this, so I don't know what's happening there or if maybe this is old footage. They've literally just done a supermarket walk and they've done an order because she said it when she was cooking the other things. So how many more groceries do you need?
Someone was like, don't you have a dinar store? Like a dollar store. 1 dinar, loves, is like $4. So it's not really a dollar store.
You can get stores like that though. There's one near the supermarket I go to, and it's basically like, obviously the Amani Real's a little bit different, but it goes from, I think, half a dinar. It goes from like, actually might be 300 peso, so 0.3 of a real, up to 2.5. So there's a bit of a range.
Usually their supermarkets are like reasonably priced with discounted things.
Now that I'm thinking about it, sorry, as I say that, they don't usually have fresh food there. She doesn't usually buy fresh food, so I don't suppose it really matters, but you can get breads and snacks and things there, or at least in the one I've got near me. But for the stuff she buys, she could look, but the supermarket is, like I say, usually okay. But the kind of supermarket she's going to, like even if I take like a local branded supermarket rather than an international one, they will usually have a section of like homeware, cookware. You know, she said she went upstairs for the discount stuff. Either downstairs there'll be one side of the store, or upstairs will have all the electronics, clothing, shoes, stationery, that kind of thing. And up there they'll have kitchenware as well. So it really does depend, but the store she was in looked pretty big, so they'd have something.
There is a store we went to before, like for Ramadan, it had all kinds of, we did a video, but had all kinds of kitchenware. So,
yeah, like you could go into any of these.
We just need some like more utensils and
more any. Did you see I didn't notice this, but Poppy did. She was using like the whisk out of an electric whisk, like the removable one, because she didn't have a whisk. She's still eating off plastic plates. She's found her spoon and her fork, but this appears to be one of the only ones she has. They've lived here a year. I know that Salah was a bachelor before this, but a knife and fork is not a high bar. A plate you can wash is not a high bar.
Maybe a few more pots. I really want to do something special for Halloween because, like...
What's she celebrating Halloween for? I know she brought it up before and people looked it up and they were like, no, it's not allowed. We get a little bit of Halloween stuff through I call them cute shops, but you know those kind of Miniso type of stores and all the copy stores of it. Sometimes there'll be a few Halloween things there, but it's not a widely celebrated thing here. But we'll do a little Halloween run for the kids who are on the campus. And actually, I've got a message about that and tell them that I'll get some candy in and do it. Now, don't get me wrong. I love autumn. I hate the horror movies that are out right now, but I love Halloween. I love this time of year. And I know that she does too, because she's tried to do Vlogtober before. It's a nice time of year. But I'm surprised she would do it now, all things considered. I guess it only matters when she wants it to, hey?
When I'm cleaning or doing something, I put on like fall Halloween ambient videos.
This makes me a little sad because I do the same. Sometimes I just want the atmosphere and it's nice to have on. I do it at work because at work I have like my desktop, my school laptop, and then the big smart board we have. I'll put that on if I've got a no contact period and the kids are out. I'll put it on while I'm working or during my ECA or something just for background noise. It makes me a little sad that we're connected in this.
They go on for like 11 hours. I love it with like fireplace. Because believe it or not, I can feel the temperature drop here. At night, it's cool. Like it's chilly.
I wouldn't say it's been chilly here, and I know Kuwait is slightly hotter than here, but your gauge for temperature does change. So for example, in Saudi Arabia, the first winter I was there, it got quite cool. It got down to like 20, 21. And that's unusually cool because right now it's not in the 40s anymore. It was in the mid 40s and now it's kind of 33, 34, right? But when it hit like the low 20s in Saudi, I was wearing a jumper because you feel the drop. And even though the low 20s would be a nice summer's day in Britain and I wouldn't think twice about wearing a t-shirt, like I needed a jumper there.
It's really, really nice. I can still feel the fall, and if I can celebrate it in my home, that's fine. I could make some kind of really yummy recipe. So comment below like some recipe ideas, your favorite fall recipes, and maybe.
That's what this was leading up to. She's done 2 recipes and she's out of ideas. Tell her what content to make. Don't make her think of it herself.
Maybe I'll pick one to make.
I swear to God if she makes that pumpkin Alfredo again.
Alright guys. Can't promise I won't butcher it, but
I can promise she will butcher it.
I've been talking for way too long.
You
I
said
gotta go. Blow my nose.
Oh, God, I hate that wine of hers.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for watching. Bye.
Okay, we're going to leave it there. Okay, everybody, so that's where Chantal is right now. So confirmation that a cat is not vaccinated, could not have been boarded, etc. I hope the cat feels better soon and that they actually take care of her. But it's Chantal, so who knows? Probably not. All right, everybody, thank you so much for being here, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.